Have you ever made a decision and later wondered, what was I thinking? You're not alone. Every day, our brains trick us into making choices that feel right in the moment, but might not be the best in the long run. These mental shortcuts, known as cognitive biases, are hardwired into our thinking. And while they help us navigate a complex world, they can also lead us astray. Today, we'll uncover the 10 most common cognitive biases that are ruining your decision-making and explore how to overcome them. Cognitive biases are systematic errors in thinking that affect our judgments and decisions. They're like mental shortcuts our brains take to save time and energy, but they often come at a cost. Whether you're choosing a product, forming an opinion, or planning for the future, these biases can influence your decisions in ways you don't even realize. Bias number 1, confirmation bias. This is our tendency to seek out, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs while ignoring evidence that contradicts them. For example, if you believe a particular diet is the best, you'll likely focus on success stories and dismiss studies that say otherwise. Tip: challenge yourself to seek out opposing viewpoints. Ask, what if I'm wrong? Bias number 2, anchoring bias. This occurs when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, the anchor, when making decisions. Imagine you're shopping for a new TV. The first model you see costs $2,000. Even if the next one is $1,500, it might feel like a bargain compared to the anchor. Tip: always compare options independently of the first one you see. Bias number 3, availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is when we overestimate the likelihood of events based on how easily they come to mind. For instance, if you've just seen a news report about a plane crash, you might think air travel is dangerous, even though it's statistically one of the safest ways to travel. Tip: rely on data, not anecdotes, to assess risk. Bias number 4, loss aversion. Loss aversion refers to our tendency to fear losses more than we value gains. This can make us overly cautious or lead us to hold on to bad investments because the thought of losing money feels unbearable. Tip: focus on the bigger picture. Ask, what's the best long-term choice? Bias number 5, overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias is when we overestimate our abilities or knowledge. It's why people often think they're better than average drivers or believe they'll ace a task without preparation. While confidence is important, overconfidence can lead to poor decisions and unnecessary risks. Tip: stay humble and double-check your assumptions. Bias number 6, hindsight bias. Hindsight bias makes us believe we predicted an event after it has already happened. This illusion of foresight can distort our memories and prevent us from learning from our mistakes. Tip: focus on what you didn't know at the time to learn effectively. Bias number 7, the bandwagon effect. The bandwagon effect is the tendency to follow what others are doing simply because it's popular. This can lead to poor choices, like investing in a hyped stock or buying products you don't need. Tip: ask yourself, would I still choose this if no one else was doing it? Bias number 8, status quo bias. Status quo bias makes us prefer things to stay the same. Change can feel uncomfortable, so we stick with familiar options even when better alternatives exist. Tip: evaluate your choices objectively, not just based on familiarity. Bias number 9, the halo effect. The halo effect occurs when we let one positive trait overshadow other, less favorable qualities. For example, we might assume someone who's attractive or well-spoken is also competent or trustworthy. Tip: focus on facts, not first impressions. Bias number 10, survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is when we focus on successful outcomes and ignore the many failures behind the scenes. It's why people idolize entrepreneurs without considering how many businesses actually fail. Tip: look for the full picture, including failures and setbacks. Overcoming cognitive biases starts with awareness. When you recognize these mental traps, you can take steps to counteract them. Practice mindfulness, seek diverse perspectives, and use tools like checklists or data analysis to make more informed decisions. Cognitive biases are part of being human, but they don't have to control your decisions. By understanding these 10 biases and applying simple strategies to combat them, you can make better choices in every area of life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and share it with someone who could benefit from making better decisions. Don't forget to subscribe to Think Shelf for more insights into psychology and personal growth. See you in the next video.